Okay, students, wish you all a very good evening. So before we start, let me tell this to you. Today, my webcam is not supporting to the Zoom, but anyway, this normally happens in my device, right? We'll see. Sometimes it may be right, getting all right when the lecture is going on. So anyway, Puta, until right it becomes all right, let's start the session for today. Okay, are you all ready? Good. Is it all right? Okay, Duniti, good evening, Puta. Good evening to all. Good. Today, let me start the topic like this. Now, I think everybody knows that we are reading, right, the subject called business and accounting studies. Business and accounting studies. Children, do you know in A levels, we consider business studies as a single subject and accounting as a separate subject. Okay, business and accounting studies. Those who can remember, those who are with me from the very first session, I told you, according to the ordinary level syllabus, right? According to the ordinary level syllabus, in grade 10, in the grade 10 syllabus, we have to discuss 12 competencies, right? There are 12 competencies. Okay. And in grade 11 syllabus, we have 8 competencies. 8 competencies. Then I told you, now altogether we have 20 competencies. No? Huh? In it, altogether we have, right, there are 20 competencies, right? We have 20 competencies to be covered according to the syllabus of business and accounting studies, right? But then, do you know these 20 competencies, right, have been classified as business studies and accounting studies? I think everyone is listening. Huh? So this particular syllabus, I mean 20 competencies have been classified as business studies and accounting studies. Now let me tell this to you, right? In grade 10 syllabus, right, the first three competencies discusses business studies. First three competencies, right? And the last 9 competencies, right, introduces the subject of accounting to you. Okay, right? Still, it means that we have not yet started the accounting yet. In fact, in the first term, right, we cover only the business studies syllabus. Now, please listen to me. I think everyone is listening. Now, let's start. Okay. Now, I think you all can understand we are in the first part of the grade 10 syllabus. That means we cover business studies here. Business studies. Business studies. If you can remember, in the last competency, I mean the one we have completed, right, in the previous week, we discussed about the background of business. Background of business. Right? There, if you all can remember, we discussed a lot of things. We introduced what a business is. What is the definition of business? and objective of businesses we discussed. Then we discussed about factors of, we have discussed about factors of production. We didn't discuss about it yet. And finally I introduced, right, the stakeholders of business. So this is what we have covered in the first competency. Then we discussed about the needs and the wants. We discussed about everything in the first one. The second, right, the competency which we start today, right, and that is named as business environment. Okay, business environment. He also will discuss about a lot of things. What is business environment, how it is classified. Then there is a very beautiful analysis called, hands up those who have heard, sorry, hands up. Just you can still hands up, right? Have you heard of this particular analysis? Let's see how many of you have heard of it. There is a very beautiful analysis called SWOT analysis. Anybody who has heard of this? Anyone who has heard SWOT analysis? Yes, Duniti, we are discussing it today, darling. We are discussing it today for sure, right? Okay, Triptika and Ashen. Ashen, can you tell me what does it mean? What do you mean by this SWOT analysis to the class?
It means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats.
Very good, very good. Others, don't be afraid. We are going to learn all these things today. SWOT means, we have to recognize S denotes strengths of the business. W is weaknesses. O stands for opportunities, where T is for the threats. Good. And then, in the next competency, we discuss about business organizations. Business organizations. Sorry. Business organizations. Now, this is what we have to cover in the first term in your syllabus. Right. Pute, give me a few minutes until I open. Give me a few minutes, Puta. Pute, can you remember? We completed the first competency except this topic, that is factors of production. Now I told you this is the method which I'm using in the online class. I'm using a whiteboard. I'm using tutorials, which will be forwarded to you as PDF documents. And I will be using Microsoft PowerPoint and sometimes Excel to describe this particular lesson. Okay, so please stay connected. If you can't understand anything, please let me know. Are we clear, Puta? Are we clear? Good. Let's start. Right. What is factors of production? What do you mean by factors of production? Look at this picture very, very carefully. This picture says everything. What is or what does it mean by the factors of production? Are we clear? So there are, accordingly, we have 4 factors. Okay. Land. You can't see the shared screen. Wait a minute. What about now? Can you see this? Can you see this, Pute? Right. Now let's start. Now let's start. Ape kawuda? Still you can't see the screen. Who is this puta? Duniti, can't you see the screen yet, Pute? I have shared a PowerPoint screen here. Can't you see that? Let me share it again. It has been shared now. Now let's continue. Pute. Now, the factors of production, right? So, Pata, you have to complete this. I think the tutorial is also provided. First, listen to this particular description. Okay, Pata. Here we have the description of factors of production. It says, any economic activity which manufactures or provides goods and services to fulfill human needs and wants is a business. This is how I described a business. Business is anything which produces or provides goods and services to satisfy human needs and wants is called as a business. Right? I think you all can remember that. And this point tells you, in producing goods and services, every business has to use resources belongs to them. Are we clear? What we should use? We have to use the resources. Api anivarrayama puta resources pavichchi karanna. Otherwise, you can't do any type of a production. Okay. And the next point tells you, they are called as what? Factors of production. Now, in the exam, if you get, what do you mean by, if you get this question for your exams, what do you mean by factors of production? So your answer should be the resources which have to be used by a business in producing goods and services. I repeat, those who want, they can note it down somewhere. Factors of production means the resources which the business use in producing the goods and services. Are we clear? Accordingly, we have 4 factors. Now we have to write them in with the red pen. Here, you have to write these particular factors with the red pen here. With the red pen. Okay. Pute, the first factor is named as land. Land. Second is labor. Third is capital. And the last is entrepreneurship. What are the 3 factors we have? 4 factors: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneurship. These are the 4 factors of production. Right? Complete the notes. So today we move to, please turn to the next page of the tutorial. Right? So here we are going to write all the things which is relevant for land here with examples: labor, capital, entrepreneurship. Now listen, children, listen to me. I told you, if you have a good speed in writing, you can copy the note now at the moment. But if not, don't be afraid. You will get this recorded session to your email address soon. Or you can copy it down right after or when you watch the recorded session either. So my point is, right, my advice is, now please pay your attention. Let's start the presentation again. I'm discussing the land as a factor of production. We have definite or precise definitions for them, which must be learned by heart. Land includes all natural resources. It is the first sentence which should be written. What is it? Natural resources. Land comprises with raw land, and anything that comes from the land. So this is the best definition for land, right? Land means the raw land or anything that comes from the land. So, do you know this? there is a return for land. Let's say puta you have a land, let's say in Panadura, you have a land worth land of right 50 purchases, right? So you have, if you have that land, you know, you can earn, right, the return called the rent. So remember this also, land, the factor of production, land gives you the return called the rent. Am I clear with you? Land gives you the return, land gives you the return named what? The rent. Is that clear to you? Hardeputala? Right. Return called rent. What are the examples we have? Forest, water, mineral, air, sunlight, gas, metal, crops, fish and birds. These are the examples of land. So why do we say that these are the examples of land? Do you know all these things comes from the land itself? Right? Here, I think you can understand. Don't misunderstand the land. Right? Water is also recognized as a part of the land. Right? So here, anything which comes right from the land is called as, right, comes under the land. Examples, what are the examples? Forest, water, minerals. Everything we can get. Give me a minute, excuse me. Right. Now, this is what you mean by the land. Land. Yeah, you have to write the examples also, darling. You have to write the examples also, Andrina. Right. So you can, I told you, if you have missed something, don't be afraid, you will get the recorded session. Right. And Chevan, I'll send you a Google form after this class. Please complete that also. You have to include your email address there. Okay. Right. Sorry, this should be crops. Okay, crops. Okay, thank you very much, Ashane. Crops, crops, CROPS. Right? Let's move to the next one. Labor. I'm discussing labor as a factor of production. Labor. This is how it is described. Simply speaking, labor is the work which is done by the people. Labor is the work done by the people. Okay. So in other words, labor is the amount of, look at the next part, physical and mental effort used to produce goods and services in an economy. Forget about the economy. Stop all your work. Think about your school itself. Do you know in your school, right, there are laborers who provide physical, right, labor. Who are they? Who are they? The cleaners, isn't it? Cleaners provide a physical service. Okay. Sometimes the drivers in your school, they provide a physical service. Now, what about the teachers? Do you know in your school, teachers are recognized as employees which provides labor. But what type of effort do they make? Is it physical? No. It is more than, right, more than the physical. They generate mental effort to teach you. Therefore, labor can be classified as physical and mental labor, as you all can see here. Here we have some examples of the people who provide, right, physical labor. Cleaners, carpenters, masons, and drivers. They provide physical labor. And these are the examples of mental labor. Doctors, engineers, teachers, and lawyers. Right? Do you see? Subject physical labor, mental labor. And do you know, labor gets the return called salaries and wages. Your teacher receives a salary from the government or from the school. So these are the examples of labor. Sorry, this is how you describe labor. Is there a question, Pute? Yes. Dishans, Pute, if the space is not enough, you can use a rough paper and attach that to the tutorial. Okay, so it seems that this the space is not enough, but those who have a kind of small handwriting, they can manage it. But if you find it difficult, right, please write it clearly on a separate paper and attach it to the tutorial. Do you understand, everyone in the class? Okay, good. Right, let's start. Now we move to the third one. What is the third one, Puta? Capital. Right, I think I have explained that to you. The labor is two types, physical and mental. Pute, I'm moving to the next factor of production, which is capital. Capital. Puta, this is, right, most of the students compare, confuse this with land. Right? Okay, I told you land means the natural resources. But do you know, capital means all human creations that helps, right? Human, Pute, give me, Dishans, give me a minute, Pute. Right, okay. Now those who want the previous, make a screenshot, take a gun on a lama. Quickly, hurry up. Finished? Take a screenshot. Then you can copy it down. And I observe that this batch is not taking the advantage of the recorded session much. So please go through this recorded session when you get this particular chance, right? The previous one. I'll give that to you later, okay? I'll give that to you later. Now, capital. Puta, do you know, capital is not natural resources. It includes all human creations that help production is called as capital. Now, what is it? All human creations, everything which have been produced by, right, human, the people. Everything which has been produced by people is called as capital. Today, these are man-made objects like machinery, equipment, and chemicals that are used in production. Now, how do you distinguish the land and capital? Pute, listen to me. Land is natural resources, but capital is man-made objects. I think you can understand. Huh? Do you know? Listen to this very, very carefully. The cash used in purchasing the above tools is also known as capital. Listen to me. Not only the man-made objects, even the cash which is used in purchasing these tools and machineries are also recognized as capital. So hereafter, no one should say that cash is land, labor, or entrepreneurship. Cash is purely capital. Okay? Are we clear? And do you know the return of the capital is interest? Are we clear? Now, what is the return of land? Rent. Return of the labor? Salaries and wages. And return of capital? Interest. Are we clear, Puta? Good. Pute, these are the examples of capital. Please note that all these things are man-made objects. First one, machinery. Second, buildings. They are from, right, they are not natural resources. Okay, all these have been, right, developed or constructed by humans. Machinery, buildings, motor vehicles, furniture and fittings, equipment, tools. Here we have. All these are, now once again, how do you recognize an item of capital? Sorry, item of capital. If that is a man-made object, it comes under capital, including cash. If you like, you can write the example of cash here. Take a screenshot soon. Are we clear? So we move to the last, okay, factor of production, that is entrepreneurship. How to pronounce this? Entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship. Okay, Pute? Good. What is entrepreneurship? Listen to this. Pute. Entrepreneurship is the drive to develop an idea into a business. What is the entrepreneurship? It is the drive or the intention of developing an idea into a business. For an example, let's say KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. The entrepreneur was that particular, the founder of the business is called as the entrepreneurship. Right? He is the person who has found the develop an idea of business. He's the person who found the idea of the business. Okay, so if you have a shop nearby, the entrepreneurship is the person who started the shop, who generated an idea to start a shop in that particular place. So this is a little bit complicated. What is entrepreneurship? It is the drive to develop an idea into a business. Look at the next one, something very important and powerful. An entrepreneur combines the other three factors of production to add to supply. Now, what does he do? What are the other three subjects? Sorry, other three factors we have? Land, labor, and capital. Therefore, entrepreneur, the person who engages in the entrepreneurship is called as the entrepreneur. And what does he do? He collects the other three factors to organize a product. Are we clear? And the most successful entrepreneurs are innovative risk takers. What is it? They are innovative and they are ready to take risks. Okay, children. And the return of the entrepreneurship is profit. Now listen to me, children. We have 4 factors of production and we have 4 different returns too. Okay. Now listen to me. Take this as the screenshot. You have to write this right under the topic entrepreneurship. Okay, Puta, done. Now, the last topic under this particular competency. Pute, what is the role of an entrepreneur in a business? Puta, according to your syllabus, right? I have to speak according to your syllabus now. In A-levels, we have kind of different approach to this particular topic. But in O-levels, we have just recognized a few approaches. First one, He has to take the risk. The entrepreneur, what is the main thing? He has to take the risk. Second, he has to create innovations. He has to provide what? He has to generate innovations. Aluten hitanna ona, aluten deval hadanna ona. That is what you mean by innovations. Or think creatively. And the last is, he has to make decisions. Okay. Now this is the role of an entrepreneur in a business. Take a screenshot, those who want. So Puta, this point marks, right, the completion of the first competency. First competency, right? So if you can remember, let me summarize what we have done in the first competency. Chevan, Puta, I think I have sent you a message saying that if you like, you can purchase, right, the previous recordings, right? I think I have given the information to your mom, right? If she doesn't understand, ask her to give me a call, right, after this class. Okay. So after this class, I have another class, no, Pute, at after 8:30, ask her to give me a call. Okay, good. Right. Now this is right. This marks the end of. This marks the end of the first competency background of business. So what are the things that we have discussed? We discussed we defined the business. Then we discussed about the key points in the business. I mean, goods and services, how needs and wants, right? Economic activities. We discussed all of them. Okay. Then we discussed about the stakeholders of a business and objectives of business, right? So Puta, please go through the completed tutorials, right, on and off. Okay, are we clear? Right. So with all your permission, let me start the second, right? The second competency. Please take this out: business environment. Business environment. Give me a minute, give me a minute. A very good, now Dishan is asking a very good question from me. Do we have any examples of for entrepreneurship? Yes, we have. Liaganna, right? The examples of entrepreneurship is the idea of business. Those who want, they can note that down. Example of entrepreneurship is idea of business. Now listen to me, guys, right? We have to discuss a few parts under the stakeholders of a business. Just now I remembered that. Extremely sorry for that. I'm ready for the session, but since as we have a new student today, let's start this session, right? Business environment, and let's discuss about the let's complete the stakeholders in the following week. Is that all right? Apata? So extremely sorry for the inconvenience. I completely forgot it. I thought that we have completed the stakeholders part. Okay, children? Right. Let's move to business environment. Okay. Now, Puta, listen to me very, very carefully. This is the second competency. This is competency 2. As usual, you know, I have prepared a very beautiful presentation. Let me share that presentation. Children, we are into the second competency, business environment. Today, I did my primary education in a school, right, at Moratuva. I think some may know that, right? That was called as Sarvodaya School, right? Those who around Moratuva, they know this, right? And it was located near the Sarvodaya, right near Sarvodaya office, right? That is why it was called as Sarvodaya School, right? So I did my primary education and as well as A levels in Sinhala medium, right? And when we were in grade 3, we were introduced a subject called, right, environment. In Sinhalese, we call this Parisaraya. My teacher asked a general question from the class. What was it? What is environment? Before, I can still remember, at that time I was in grade 3. Grade 3. Teacher asked this question generally from the class. What was the question? Children, do you know what is environment? Nobody gave the answer, but except me. You know, the idea of my answer was this. Read it very carefully. Everything we depend on. I repeat. Everything we depend on. So I gave this answer in Sinhalese, okay? This is the translation of my answer. Everything we depend on is environment. Isn't it? I can still remember teacher was so happy. And you know, on the following day, I can still remember, right? My parents, the teacher asked my parents to come to school. So I took both my parents to school. And she told me, right? So I don't know how I gave that answer, but it was the correct answer. What is it? Everything we depend on is environment. Okay. Now, this is not the topic for today. I'm not discussing about environment, but do you know? I have put this as the introduction part of the tutorial. Everything we depend on, right? Now look at this. Since then, my perception of the environment hasn't changed much. Even today, I am following this particular definition. Because everything we depend on is environment. In the same line of thought, let's understand what is meant by business environment and its importance of the business environment. Today, let me take you to the next slide. What is business environment? Business environment includes all the elements existing both inside and outside the boundary of the organization. That means the business. Look at the next part. That have the potential to affect the organization. What is it? In simple words, everything which is there inside and outside of the business, which can change the business, is called as environment. So better to write this definition with your red pen. Okay. If you can, try to memorize this particular definition, especially the definitions. At least you have to provide, if you have forgotten the definition, you have to provide something similar to that. Are we clear? What is it? Includes all the elements inside or outside of the business which have the potential to change or affect the business. Okay. Every business survives and grows within the business environment. Now listen to me. If you cannot, how many of you can remember the first day that you entered that school? Anyone who can remember the first day you attended the school? Do you want the explanation again? Andrea, listen to me. Andrea, listen to me. Now look at this. She wants to listen the definition of environment, business environment again. The business environment includes all the elements, everything, maybe inside the business or outside the business. What is the most important thing? They have a potential. What is that potential? To affect the business and its activities. Okay, are we clear? Now this is how you define, right, the business environment. Okay, Buddha and Rina, let's move to the next. Today, I asked a small question from you. How many of you can remember the first day that you attended the school? Do you know, I can still remember. I can still remember the first day of schooling. Good. Very good. Very good. At least a few of you can remember. Right. Great. Put your hands down. Pute, do you understand? If you compare, right, the knowledge, your perception, your appearance with those days and now, you will see that you have grown a lot. You have developed physically, mentally, educationally, right? You have grown. So you know, every business has the same characteristics. So every business is surviving and growing within the business environment. You can't go out of the right box and develop. You can't go out of the right environment and develop. It is common to a business as well. To survive and grow, right, within the business environment. Next. A firm is, now listen to me, a firm means a business. A business is only a part of a big, only a part of a big environment, isn't it? Business is just a small element. And so there are only a few factors which are under the control of the firm. Listen to me very carefully. In the environment, there are a number of factors. Just a few can be controlled by the business. Then others, they cannot be controlled. Okay, are we clear? Now I told you, right, things are getting little bit complicated from lesson to lesson. So my personal advice is, when you get the chance, please go through this recorded session again and again, at any time you like. I told you the importance of this subject. So what is the point here? Right. In this particular environment, we have just a few things which can be controlled by the business. Then others, uncontrollable. Now look at this. According to this environment, whether it is controllable or uncontrollable, the firm has to respond and adapt accordingly. So, I think you all can see a few things which has been written with the red color, and the right in the tutorial also have given the same description here. Better to highlight. You can do it now, I think. Highlight the things with the red color. Okay. And the last point tells you, if business person possesses good understanding of the business environment, they can easily recognize, analyze, and react to the forces that affect the firm. This is why we need to study the business environment, children. Why? If you have this knowledge, what you can do? You can easily analyze, recognize, and react to the forces. So remember, you can't survive if you do not respond and adapt the business environment and it changes. What I told you, you can't survive and grow if you do not respond and adapt correctly according to the business environment. See how important it is. Are we clear now? Is it interesting, Puta? Extremely sorry for you can't see me today. Still, the Zoom is not detecting my camera. Right? Just stay focused. Pute, let's move to the next tutorial. Right. Now look at this. Page number 2. How the business environment is classified. Business environment can be classified under 2 arrangements. Note this down. First one, internal environment. Write it down soon. Then the second should be external environment. Internal environment. Second is external environment. Internal environment and external environment. Now look at this. In the tutorial, please highlight or underline these 2 words, parties and forces. In the textbook also this has been given. I think most of you have not received the textbook anyway. There are parties and there are forces of business environment. Right? I have prepared a very beautiful presentation slide here. Business environment, as I told you, it has 2 categories. Do you know what are they? Internal and external environment. Okay. Do you know? Under the internal environment, we have recognized just a few parties. Listen to me. Under the internal environment, we don't have any forces. What we have just a 3 set of parties: owners, managers, employees. Right? You can write it later. These are called as the parties of business internal environment. Parties. And do you know, in external environment, we have both parties and forces. Again, let me explain it to you later. Let's recognize the right parties and forces in external environment. We have number of things. Customer is right a party. Suppliers is also a party of the external environment. And competitors is another party. I think you all can see, right, in the tutorial also, I have given boxes for the so we have 3 parties and 5 forces according to the O-level syllabus. Customers, suppliers, competitors are recognized as the parties. And political environment is a force. Anyway, it's an external environment. Legal environment is another force of the external environment. Next is technological environment, another force. Then we have the economic environment. Finally, global environment. These are the parties and forces of the external environment. First, take a screenshot of this. They can make a screenshot. Okay. Now, What is the importance of recognizing what is these parties, what are these parties and forces? Let me put it like this way. Now listen to me. As I told you, we have two things here. First is parties. Second is forces. Right? I have a small question. Out of these two, which one is powerful? Comparatively powerful. Can someone think and tell me? Out of these two things, which one is powerful? Party or the force? Duniti, that is correct. Others? Which one is powerful? Yes. Forces are more powerful than the parties. It means, Puta, forces can influence the business and its activities powerfully than the parties. You will understand, we are discussing all these things in detail. So please concentrate, right? Forces are powerful than the parties. Are we clear? Are we clear? Good. Let's move to, right? Let's move to the presentation slide again. I think you have written this or you have taken a screenshot of this. Let's move to the tutorial now. I'm going to give you a few differences between internal and external environment. Children, listen to me. Please go through all these things. Right. Let's start. Differences. Internal and external environment. Okay. First base of comparison is the meaning. Internal environment means the inline factors which can influence the business and its activities. Inline means, Puta, right? The factors inside the business. The factors which the factors inside the business which can influence the business and its activities. Internal environment. The factors which can influence the business environment is called as internal environment. External means the factors outside the business which can influence the business and its activities. See, you can easily understand. Internal means inside factors. External means outside factors. Outside factors. Okay. Second, nature. Listen to me very carefully. Internal environmental parties are controllable. They can be controlled. What are the examples we have? Owners, managers, employees. They are somewhat controllable to the business. You can control the employees. Am I clear with you? Internal environment factors are controllable. You can control them. But external, uncontrollable. You can't control the customers. You can't control the political environment. You can't control the legal environment. You can't control the technological environment. So, external environment parties, the factors are uncontrollable. Uncontrollable. Okay. The third base of comparison comprises of internal environment comprises of strengths and weaknesses. Okay, strengths and weaknesses. Ashayn matakada man kiyala dunna. Oya mata uttara dunna lassanta. So in the internal environment, what we can recognize, strengths, weaknesses. Then can someone tell me, external environment, what we can recognize? Those who can rewind their mind to the beginning of the lesson. අරමං SWOT එකක් කියලා දුන්නේ. ත්‍රිප්තික මතකද පුතා? If internal environment is comprised with strengths and weaknesses, what about the external environment? Triptika, very good. Bomodai, Anitaya, Andrina, what can you say about this? Duniti, very good. I need the other one also. Netmi, Shenuk. Shenuk, you are a very silent boy, right? Shenuk, are you there in the meeting? Shenuk. I think that is correct, Puta. Very, very good. Dinel. Kavishka. So listen to me. External environment is comprised with opportunities and the threats. See. And the last one, affects. Business firm only. Internal, the factors of the internal environment can affect the business firm only. But the factors of external environment, I mean the parties and forces, they can affect all the businesses operating in the industry. For an example, when the government has imposed a new rule, it affects on your business and all other businesses in the country. Do you understand? That is why I told you, the forces are more powerful than the parties. Are we clear? You can't control them whatsoever. You can't control, I repeat, you can't control especially the forces. You have to adapt according to them. Okay, I think, right? Some of you have not recognized the importance of this online class. If you go to a physical class, do you ever get the chance to listen to the session again? You will never hear that. But in online class, I'm recording this session. You can listen to that particular recorded session later. So get the advantage, please, please, please. Okay. Let's move to the tutorial again. Now let me present, right, SWOT analysis. Right? Let me present the SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis. What is it? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis. Further, by analyzing the environment, the business can recognize strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You can understand what I told you the previous slide. You can recognize the strengths and weaknesses by analyzing the internal environment. You can identify the opportunities and threats by analyzing the external environment. Are we clear? Huh? Give me a minute. Let me correct it. Right, let's start again. SWOT analysis. I told you here. Further, by analyzing the environment, business can recognize strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Do you know out of these four, two, right, generate positive influences to business. And do you know what are they? They are strengths and opportunities. They are friendly to the business. They generate positive impacts to the business. And you can understand even by the meaning of these strengths, opportunities, they are friendly. They provide positive influences on a business. Then what about weakness and threats? If you have a weakness, it generates a negative impact to your business. And also the threats. Are we clear? Strengths and opportunities generates positive influence, while weaknesses and threats generates a negative influence. Let's read the tute. Further, by analyzing, you have to complete this. On the other hand, SWOT analysis is useful technique for understanding businesses' strengths and weaknesses, and identifying both opportunities open to the business and threats its face. Right? Are we clear? Right? Look at the next point. Look at this, huh? This is, I think this is the first one which is given in the tutorial. Second point, strengths and weaknesses are often internal. I repeat. This is the previous slide. I have told you here what? Strengths and opportunities generate positive influences, while weaknesses and threats generates a negative influence. However, do you know strengths and weaknesses can be recognized by analyzing the internal environment, while opportunities and threats can be found by analyzing the external environment. I think everyone is listening. Today, let's move to the next slide. Now let's see what it says. Strengths and weaknesses with a red pen are often internal to your organization, while opportunities and threats are generally relates to external factors. Strengths and weaknesses are often internal to your organization, while opportunities and threats relates to external factors. External factors. Okay. Then, in other way, strengths and weaknesses are controllable, while opportunities and threats are uncontrollable or not controllable. Write it down. It means you have kind of a controllability on your strengths and weaknesses. You can control them, but you can never control the external factors. I mean, opportunities and threats cannot be controlled. Today, I'm going to give you a small homework today. It is out of this particular topic. I mean, it is not relevant for the subject, but that is, right? As a student, you have to do your SWOT analysis. What is it? You have to recognize your strengths. You have to recognize your weaknesses. And you have to recognize the opportunities open for you and the threats open for you. All right, threats that you face as a student, right? What are the strengths you have? If you can study for a long time, it's a strength. Then if you feel sleepy, it is a weakness of yours. But the point is, can you control them? Yes, you can. You can find, right, solutions for your weaknesses. That means they are controllable. And think about the opportunities and threats. If you have a good set of teachers, it's an opportunity, right? if you're attending for good tuition classes, it is an opportunity for you, right? And there may be threats also. If you are surrounded with, let's say, right, if you are living in a noisy environment, right, then you can't concentrate. So it's a threat for your education. Like that, you have to do a SWOT analysis for yourself. Are we clear? Are we clear, Puta? Good. So to write here, strengths and weaknesses are often internal to your organization, while opportunities and threats generally relates to external factors. In other words, right, strengths and weaknesses are controllable to the business, while opportunities and threats are not controllable. Are we clear, Puta? So, I think මම මේක next week කතා කරොත් හොඳයි කියලා මට හිතෙනවා. මොකද අපි දැන් ගොඩක් දේවල් අලුතෙන් ඉගෙන ගත්තා. Factors of production. What were the factors of production we have? Land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship. So please complete the tutorial, right? And then I told you the return of the land is the rent. Return of the labor is salaries and wages. Return of the capital is interest. Return of the entrepreneurship is the profit. Then I told you entrepreneur has different roles in a business. What were they? He has to take the risk. He has to be innovative and he has to make decisions. ඔය තුන පුතා එහෙම්මම පුතා ටෙක්ස්ට් බුක් එක හම්බ වෙලා නැහැනේ. ටෙක්ස්ට් බුක් එකේ ඔහොම්මම තියෙනවා. Right? So please go through these tutorials very carefully. They have been carefully prepared. Then after that we move to the second competency. So for the next session, you will not get a new tutorial. Are you listening to me? What we have to do on the next week? We are going to complete the remaining parts of the stakeholders. Right? And we will be completing this tutorial. Make it opportunity, right? Weakness, strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. And listen to me, children. You will not get a new tutorial for the next week, as we have to complete the last week tutorial and this one. Are we clear, Puta? Are we clear now? So today we started the second competency, business environment. I told you business environment is anything which is inside or outside the organization, but which has a potential to affect it. Okay. So why the right analysis of the environment is important? Because you can recognize the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Then I told you, you can't survive without analyzing the business environment. Putala. Then I told you, Pute, the business environment can be classified as, right? Yeah, even here, right? Even it is thundering here. So the environment can be classified under two arrangements: internal environment, internal and external. Then I told you, in internal environment, we have parties. In external environment, we have both parties and forces. Okay. We will discuss about all these things in detail. So it takes a little bit of time to complete the second competency. Then I told you, right, differences. Please study them. They never asked to prepare this table, but the questions might be prepared like this, right? Give or provide two differences between internal environment and external environment. So use this theory. You can say internal environment are controllable, comprised with controllable factors, but external environment comprised with uncontrollable factors. By analyzing the internal environment, we can recognize strengths and weaknesses. By analyzing the external environment, we can identify the opportunities and threats. See, right? Briefly, I told you, right? You will never get these things in the same way. So be creative. Are we clear? So then we took the initiative for the SWOT analysis. I told you by analyzing the environment, you can recognize the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of the business. Then I told you, strengths and weaknesses are often internal, and opportunities and threats are external. Are we clear? Are we clear, Puta? Right. On other part. I think you have understood well, right? Please go through the recorded session once you get it. And listen to me, children. For the next week, you will not receive new tutorial, as we have to cover what is left in the stakeholders and this page. How to use this tool? How to use the tool, right? SWOT analysis. Are we clear, Puta? Right. So that's all for today, children. I think we had a very useful session. So please concentrate, and you will get that examination right after this session. So thank you very much. That's all for today. God bless you. Thank you very much, Puta.